Have you seen those models? I think it's in Japan. And they do like, 60 poses a minute.
I don't think so. I haven't seen
No,
that.
honestly, have you seen the video? Yeah, it's fascination. Anyway.
Have you found that in your hours of scrolling these reels?
Yes, doing research.
Yeah.
Anywho, Paul, shush now, Paul, honestly. God, going on and on.
I can't shush too much, so I might actually fall asleep.
Oh, Paul, can you go on? So, welcome to the show, which is called...
Sunday Chat!
Thank you, and bloody welcome to everybody around the whole world, the whole globe, in the solar system and the universe beyond. The aliens watching us, waiting.
But we don't anymore, do we? We've spoken about this.
No, but ours does, because I've got a special antenna on the roof beaming it to the nearest planet system.
We've got the antenna on Fenella that's beaming it out.
Beaming it out into the universe in the hope that somebody will contact us.
Yeah.
And then it might all go wrong.
Yeah, horribly wrong.
As we know from that programme that we've been watching.
Which one was that?
Three-body problem.
Oh, yeah, three-body problem.
We'll talk about that later and how disappointing the end was. Yeah.
Was it?
I felt it was, but save it, Paul, zip it, bitch. Let's start the show by saying welcome to any new subscribers who've recently joined us and thought, I'll give them a go. We hope you don't regret it.
No, but I mean, if you do, fine.
And
at the same time.
And as ever, please keep comments.
Please keep comments. Don't put anything below. Just keep comments.
Please keep comments nice.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, there we are.
Don't
keep
be
comments
horrible.
Nice. No, or else we'll be horrid back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bite.
Oh, that's a bit like,
silliness.
what's her name, isn't it? Like Raw. What was his name?
Gothy Kendall.
Gothy Kendall, yeah.
Get out, Gothy.
I had a soft spot for Gothy.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No,
you didn't, because you're a bitch as well.
Talentless.
Yeah. Well, it just...
Sorry.
She just couldn't walk. That was sort of...
Couldn't walk.
I thought
Did a nice
the
makeup,
makeup was
not
good.
Gonna
Absolutely.
get you through on Drag Race.
No, it's not.
No, you've got to be talented.
Yeah.
Yes. Not everybody's got talent.
Not everybody knows what we're talking about either.
Anyway, let's... Paul, you're spoiling everything now. You're ruining it. Honestly.
It's always me.
Let's get the book out and start our agenda.
I was asked again whether we script this.
No, we don't script. We do a list. It's a list. It's not a script. Do you bloody think we've got time to learn a script? I don't think so.
Well, no, this person who I met for our sake wondered whether we had screens behind that were
it's just our living room. This isn't a studio. It's not the Truman Show. God. Honestly.
Great film. Yeah. Lovelace. What's her name? Victoria? Linda Lovelace. Yeah. Have a Google.
No, I think I just got stuck then. I think my brain glitched.
Oh dear.
Paul, shush now. I keep telling you, but honestly. Yes, if you have subscribed recently and decided to join us. You've joined a very special cult. Don't be frightened.
Yeah, we're both quite special.
Yes. Yeah. Especially me.
Well, you are quite special, aren't you?
Special.
Yeah. The doctors say so as well, don't they? Yeah.
They let me out to do this show.
As long as he's chained up.
So yes.
That's why you don't see the legs.
I actually can't get up. I'm restrained. So Paul, shush. Honestly, I won't tell you again. Really. So we always kick off with Richard and Paul's weather report. Boy, we've got a weather report for you today.
Witches. I've zipped it, so I can't say anything.
You can't take a cue, can you, Paul?
No, I can't.
I mean, it says clearly in the script, Paul now speaks.
Oh, yeah, it does. Well, yes, we have a storm on the way. Absolutely.
Well, I think it's here.
Yeah.
She's here.
But it's going to be worse sort of the further west and the further north you go. West and north.
It's been named by Ireland.
It has.
Storm Kathleen.
Storm Kathleen.
Well, at least they didn't give it one of those Irish names that you can't pronounce.
I think you'll find Kathleen is an Irish name.
But one of the ones you can't pronounce.
Well, like Cerise.
Siobhan.
Siobhan, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, those, yeah. So yeah, it's...
I'm not having a go at Irish people. Don't even come for me. It's just a joke. I have Irish in my family. God.
Do you?
Yes, Paul.
Where?
Way back.
Way back in the mists of time. In the Celtish mists of time.
Celtish?
Irish Celtish mists of time.
Celtic.
Didn't the Celtic? Didn't they? They went that way, didn't they?
Who? My family? Yes, they did.
Yeah. Our family sort of skipped Ireland and went into Canada.
Did they?
So, yeah. That's why you have Savidors in Canada.
Anyway, so yes, very windy. Windy, stormy, blowy.
Gusty.
All of those words that can be used to describe wind.
Fanny.
Fanny?
Yeah, fanny. Lots of wind.
I don't think fanny is a word to describe a wind.
Could be.
Il fait vent. Vent is the word.
Wind.
For wind, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I don't think you can say il fait vent, can you?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yes, it is here, and it really is quite gusty, even when we are. Where we are. I can't speak today. No. But up north, yeah, it's definitely breezy.
Blah, blah, blah. But it's also very sunny and changeable, with clouds and sun and blue skies, then grey skies.
And warm.
And then it's very warm, but I'm just right.
Yeah?
Yeah, just right with my cardi on and my scarf. My Tudor baby scarf. My swaddling. I'm still obsessed with my Tudor baby dream.
Yeah,
I am. But I'm even more obsessed at the moment with the earlier people. Because of that programme we watched the other night.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Digging
more
for
of that
Britain.
later. Coming up later. Other things.
Have we finished with weather?
That's it. Weather. Done.
Well, we're hopefully the sort of like torrential rains is over now. And
Is over. Are over.
the torrential rains are over. Are over. The period of torrential rain is over.
Yes.
And it looks as though we're going to be getting some sort of much warmer weather and sort of better growing weather as well. So fingers crossed for that. We really need sort of warmth to dry soil out at the moment.
And to dry the clothes.
Yeah, it's
really nice actually today. Things are drying quickly.
Yay!
I've done a bit of a washing marathon this morning.
You've done about 6 loads.
I had to, because I had to catch up. And I said this in my daily vlogs. That's Richard's daily vlogs. See another side of me. Not naked.
I was going to say, do they? I didn't know it was that type of vlog.
No, they see me at home in my natural environment, other than
this studio, which
with
is
a
made
script.
up to be like a home.
This is just a green screen.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, warm, nice and warm, pleasant. Well, I mean, it could do with being just a few more degrees warmer.
Oh no,
that would be pleasanter.
It is very pleasant compared to how it has been, and of course the energy consumption has fallen as well quite considerably.
But
both
not
in
the
terms
prices, not for everybody, you know.
in terms of electricity and gas for us, certainly.
But somebody was telling me at work their bill has just recently doubled. I think they must have come off a deal.
Yeah, they may have been on a sort of 2-year deal.
And it's gone
or something.
from like £52 a month to £152 a month.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
so they must have been on like a 2-year fixed deal
Poor
or something.
things.
I mean, it is ridiculous. And I thought it was interesting when I was driving to For Earth's Sake this week, and I was listening to the Today programme, and the Bank of England is going to sort of review its decisions over the past 18 months, because it's now felt that their decisions about putting interest rates up has actually not done anything significant about reducing the rate of inflation rise, and therefore the fall of inflation either. And I'm not surprised. It's something I said a year ago. You know, the putting interest rates up is not going to lower inflation. It really isn't, because the inflation that we've had over the last 18 months is not driven by, or has not been driven by, consumer spending. So, you know, the inflation has very much been about profiteering of companies and governments allowing companies to profiteer. And we see that in April now, because in the UK that's when many bills go up. Your mobile phone bill will go up, your telephone bill will go up, you know, these bills that just ratchet up each year. So yeah, I was really pleased to hear that the Bank of England is going to do a review of itself.
Good.
Though I think I should be on that review panel, because I think I did. If we look back to maybe a year ago, I said what the Bank of England is doing is not going to stop the increase in the rate of inflation or significantly bring it down. These are people who are paid, you know, hundreds of thousands of pounds a year, and they're just too disassociated from reality and what's actually going on.
I mean, it's like today in the news. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Gaza and Israel at any length, and I don't want to open up a discussion about it either. But, you know, they're saying on the news today, oh, well, politicians are having talks about, has Israel gone too far? Well, we could have said that 6 months ago.
Well, we were saying that 6 months ago.
The people know this already. Why are you taking so long to realise these things? And it's the same with a lot of things. They're just so slow to act because the companies making money need to be allowed to continue making money.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. Cut. So, Paul, you mentioned For Earth's Sake. For Earth's Sake has this week opened at a new location.
Yeah. So we're now in Upper House Lane in Shamley Green.
Shamley Green.
And as I've said before, you know, Shamley Green is a lovely village. We're actually, For Earth's Sake is maybe about sort of 3 or 4 minutes drive outside of the village. But we reopened on Wednesday. I was down there on Wednesday, and we've had a really good week. We're recording this late Saturday afternoon, and the shop itself shuts at 4:30, and we've had a really good number of people through the doors over the last 3 days, because it's now open Wednesday to Saturday, and a good take at the till. So I think Vanessa will be feeling that the move away from Cranley High Street to where we are now is the right thing to have done. So
I've not seen it yet. I've not been in the new shop, but I did see the little video that Isabel at the Natural Choice took the other day, which was really interesting to see because it looks really cute.
It is. It's sort of now in 2 parts. So you've got all the sort of household liquids, washing up, fabric conditioners, laundry liquid, and the vegetable choice one side of a barn, and then you've got the actual sort of shop until the other side of the barn.
And if you want to see the original story of For Earth's Sake, when we were at the opening, or just before the opening, how many years ago?
5 years ago. 5 years ago yesterday, in fact.
That's incredible. Have a look at these videos here. A Star is Born.
So yeah, it's been. We had a really good day Wednesday, and the day has been good as they've gone on. So yeah,
Good.
very pleased. And now that the shop is open again, that allows us to get on with other things that we're going to be doing with both for her sake and the Great Green Barn. So yeah. I feel I do feel exhausted. It feels as though the last 3 months in the build up to the reopening has been really quite full on. And of course I've been going down on a weekly basis, sometimes twice a week, on a very regular basis, where usually I would go down maybe once every fortnight or 3 weeks. So yeah, it's been a busier time, certainly. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Paul, for that little update on For Earth's Sake, the plastic-free shopping experience in Shamley Green, Surrey. Good, and you can look it up online.
You can, yes, absolutely.
You can look everything up online.
Most things. Well, I guess
really?
on the dark web and everything, you can.
Well, I've never been on the dark web.
Oh, well,
I wouldn't even know how to get into the dark web.
Nor me. Yeah.
I mean, who wants to go onto the dark web?
Well, people who want to do dark things want to go onto the dark web.
The light web's bad enough. So, we had a lovely Easter weekend last weekend. We went over to see Vivi. That's Vivi Gregory of What Vivi Did Next and Vivi's Kitchen Garden. And we went to the garden, which may well be the last time we do.
I think it will be certainly the last time we go there while she's got the space.
Why would we go there else?
Well, we might, one day, if Vivi's still living around there, she might say, let's go and have a wander round.
But she won't have a key.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No, she won't. Yeah. So, we won't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And we exchanged gifts. We also exchanged Easter eggs as well. I had brought over some cream eggs to hide around Vivi's flat. She'd had exactly the same idea, except she hid hers in the garden shed.
Yeah, for you to find.
For me to find. So that was very bizarre. Great minds think alike. Well, chocolate addict minds think alike.
So Vivi gave me various of her net tunnels and shade tunnels. And that was really lovely. And you got chocolate eggs in the shed.
And also a couple of books were gifted to me from Vivi. As many of you know, I'm obsessed with not only the Tudor Baby Dream, but also the Stargazer's Handbook, which is all about space. I'm obsessed with space. I love anything space, especially if it's got pictures. And this one has got pictures.
It's got pictures.
Lots of lovely pictures, so I can't wait to dive into...
that looks a really good read.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. It's basically the guide, a complete guide to observing the night sky from your own back garden. And of course in London, we can really only see a handful of stars.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a nice, dark, clear night. With very little light pollution, which is pretty hard to find. But our back garden's not too bad, except we've got a lot of trees, so we don't have a huge open sky.
But in some ways, those trees, they also, if you're sort of on the lawn, they shelter you from that light pollution.
They do.
Because if you look out of our bathroom window at the back, it looks right over towards the M4, which is about 2.5 miles away, and there's a lot of light on that sort of stretch, so there's a lot of light pollution when you look out.
Yeah, but I'll be devouring this because I love these kind of books. But the other book that she gifted me, which is going to now form part of today's episode, is A Word for Every Day of the Year by Stephen Poole. So I thought I would use this to revive Word of the Week. Watwa. Do you remember that?
I do. I like.
But because this is a word for every day of the year, it means I can select the word for today's date.
which would be lovely, and it will also keep us going for 5 years of Sunday Chat.
Yeah. So, we're filming on the 6th of April.
No, 7 years. 7 years of Sunday Chat.
I hope we're not doing it for another 7 years. I mean, how long have we been going for?
Oh, about 20, I think.
No, we haven't. We've been going since 2017, and look how slowly
really?
things have gone
Gosh.
for us.
Gosh, there we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, that was your. Are you doing it now?
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. No time like the present, Paul. Seize the day. Seize the moment. Grab the chocolate.
Taste the biscuit.
Taste the biscuit. So, the word for the 6th of April is defatigable.
Well, indefatigable you have.
Defatigable. So, I'll spell it for you. D-E-F for Freddy, A-T-I-G-A-B-L-E. And I shall read you the paragraph. Are you sitting comfortably?
Aren't I going to guess it?
No, I'm going to read the paragraph
because
it gives you the context.
Oh, right, okay.
If you are prone to tiredness, and these days who isn't, I agree with that, you may find it reassuring to know that it is all part of the cosmic plan. At least according to the theologian Joseph Glanville, who in his Lux Orientalis 1662 explained, "We were made on set purpose defatigable, so all degrees of life might have their exercise." From the Latin for able to be tired out, defatigable is, of course, the opposite of indefatigable, which paradoxically appears earlier in the record. But happily,
we're defatigable today.
But happily, earlier than we find in 1533, the active verb defatigate, to exhaust oneself or others. Oh, what a languor runs through all my defatigated limbs, exclaims one character in Pandion and Amphigenia, 1665, by the playwright John Crown, baptised on this day in 1641, and one knows what he means. Historically at least, tiredness is the primary condition, and not to be so is a peculiar and unnatural later invention.
So who said that sort of at the beginning? What was the Joseph Glanville?
Yeah.
So was Joseph Glanville, was what he was saying referring to the life of everything on the planet and the life of the planet itself, and the fact that it would all basically come to an end at some point?
What?
And then restart. Was that what he was saying?
What?
We were made on set purpose defatigable, that so all degrees of life might have their exercise. Is that what he meant? Was it a sort of existential comment about the end of all life and the planet? I think it may have been.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Oh, I did. Am I right? I don't know. Joseph Glanville.
So that's all very interesting, isn't it?
It is. It is.
But it would take a little more digging to understand that, don't you think?
I think it would, so I will go and look up.
It raises more questions than it does answers.
I will look up, yeah.
Don't you think?
Yes. Oh, I think this is going to be rather fun as we go forward. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Vivi.
And I had other gifts as well. So I also had a book, Death on the Riviera, which is, this is a series, a British library British Library series of sort of murder mystery books that I think Vivi's been reading, so that will be lovely. And also,
oh yeah,
I think you can see that. Yeah, you can see that like that. Weymouth. So as some of you who've been watching for many years might know, Weymouth is a seaside town in the south of England that I have in my heart, because we used to go on family holidays from Guernsey to Weymouth every single year. So my dad worked for British Rail. He worked on the boats for British Rail. Therefore, we got transportation free. And there was also special rates at B&Bs in Weymouth for British Rail people. So yeah, for many years we went there, and I have a great love of Weymouth, and I said that I'd love to spend a weekend in a B&B in Weymouth at some point. It's something that I've always wanted to revisit and walk along the promenade and look at these big sand sculptures that they do. Vivi said to me that there's a special area now that is covered where they do sort of big sand sculptures basically, and it was something that I just loved as a kid, walking along that promenade, and there was all these sand sculptures. So yeah, and we used to go to the end. There's no cafe there anymore, but the end right by the boats, where the boats went out the end of the pier, and I remember banana milkshakes in that cafe at the end, and the arcades, you know, with the sort of machines and things. So yeah,
well, we got the boat a few times from Weymouth, didn't we?
We did get the boat.
We did stay overnight once.
We stayed in the Premier Inn overnight, yes, and we walked. The Premier Inn there is actually right at the end of the bay, and we walked across the road, didn't we, onto the beach, and it was really windy.
Yeah.
Really windy. And yeah, we stayed overnight because I think the boat was leaving at 6 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a shame because, you know, the one of the joys about staying at Premier Inn is their breakfasts. And we had to leave so early that they weren't open for breakfast.
Yeah, but I think we probably ate something on the boat.
I think we did. I think we had we were in the sort of cabin there. What was it called?
No, we were in the
lounge.
The lounge.
The lounge.
Yes.
Yeah.
We used to pay a little bit extra to sit in there because you can have a meal, you can relax, the chairs are comfy.
Yeah, it's quieter.
And it wasn't that much more to pay.
Well, it was like 30 quid each. I think 25 quid originally each way. So it was another 100 quid added to our thing. These are the days when we used to go to Guernsey quite often, just for, well, not quite often, but maybe every quarter for the day. But we were getting a bit older, and we sort of said, no, we'll stay in the Premier Inn overnight and then go.
Yeah, because it was a pretty long drive first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's move on. We were saying that it's felt like a long week.
Yeah.
Even though it was a short week.
I know. I mean, Easter seems so far away to me.
I think it's because I was off on the Thursday and we actually had a really, really good break.
Yeah.
It was a good few days. And it felt like a bit of a shock going back to work.
Yeah.
Well, it was like an effort. An effort. Hey ho.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we went to Vivi. We didn't. When we say a break, it was obviously a break at home. We went to Vivi for the day on Easter Sunday, as we said. But yeah, I did quite a bit of work at my desk on Monday again, sort of preparing for the opening of For Earth's Sake. So yeah.
Good. So let's move on to the final segment of the show, which is Paul.
What have we been watching this week?
What have we watched on television this week? Well, we finished a couple of shows, didn't we?
Yeah.
We finished Constellation and Three Body Problem.
Yeah. You weren't happy, were you, with the end of either of them?
That's my I'm not happy with this face. Look, I know these both of these shows, it's the first season of both of the shows. And they are... Constellation, I don't really think that will continue. It could do, but I don't think it will.
I think it's sort of semi-concluded.
I found the ending... I'm not going to divulge the ending, but...
It wasn't a satisfactory ending for you.
No, it was unsatisfying, and I can't bear an unsatisfying ending. I think it's... I also think there was too much of an angle on the old emotional thing, especially where the child was concerned. And no, I didn't find the child's acting that good. I found her voice a little bit monotone. She was just going on and on and on about it.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, whatever. Yeah, exactly. My words exactly. Yeah, all right. I don't know, I just found it a bit... It just went on for too long. Some of those scenes were too lengthy.
Yeah, I think some of the scenes were too
felt
lengthy.
like it ground to a halt rather than ended. So wasn't very happy, but probably worth a watch because it's an interesting concept. But I said to you, the concept is sort of grounded in science, but fantastical in the respect that it probably would never happen. So therefore a fantastical ending would have been more appropriate.
Yeah, it did feel a rather sort of subdued ending. Subdued.
And with Three Body Problem, we know there's going to be another season.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I think, I can't remember whether we watched it early or not, but anyway, yes, there is a second season. The sad thing for me about Three Body Problem is, of all the main characters, my three favourite characters are all dead. So
we're not going to say which one.
No, but it's sort of like at one point I went, oh, they got rid of that person. Oh, that's a shame. Then it's like, oh, they've now got rid of my second favourite character, and it's, oh, they got rid of my third favourite. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so, but still worth a watch because it's the concepts are interesting. There's some really horrid parts and some really horrid people as well in it. But it is worth it. We watched an interesting archaeology programme called Digging for Britain, and it was, I don't know her name, Professor Alice
something.
Yeah, she was hosting it, and it was looking back at the programmes that had been involved, past programmes that had been involved in sort of groundbreaking digs, if you pardon the pun.
Archaeological digs.
Yeah, that have discovered really interesting stuff in Britain. And it featured a really, really interesting dig which I'd not seen anything about, where actual timbers were discovered, preserved from 1000 BC.
These are from huts that had sort of collapsed in on themselves.
Finally kind of proving how these wooden huts actually looked, and also revealing the lifestyle that these people led in terms of the organisation of the home. So things were found in groups in, certain rooms, and it was just absolutely fascinating to watch.
It was.
And also because there were timbers, fibres that were also discovered because it had been preserved in a marshland.
Bogland.
Which is very unusual because timbers and fibres normally rot unless they're in some kind of marshy conditions or a peat bog or something like that. So it was absolutely fascinating to watch, really enjoyed that. And it's kind of set a background obsession.
Another one.
Judah Baby Dream. Yeah, so interesting programme. We also continue with Who is Erin Carter?
No, we started Who is Erin Carter?
No, we started part way through. We'd started it already and stopped.
Yeah, we'd watched the first maybe sort of 4 minutes and not carried on. I'm not quite sure why.
Not sure why.
We watched the first episode now. I think that's on Netflix. And yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. There's a bit of a mystery in there. I think it's a programme that I'll enjoy more than you'll enjoy.
I find the sound a bit strange. The voices are a bit up front.
The sound is a bit strange.
Been dubbed really prominently. Not as in dubbed in a different language, but when they do the overdubbing of voices, which very often they do, because it's very difficult to record voices in situ sometimes. So they overdub. And it just, I don't know, it sounds a bit off. And it was putting me off a little bit.
Well, talking of which, we also watched Rebel Moon, which I think again was at Netflix or was
So
it
this
Apple?
Is the movie Rebel Moon.
And the dubbing in the first sort of 5-10 minutes of that, where they're in the village, that put me off. That was sort of.
But it was a good movie.
Bad, but a good movie.
Good movie, quite exciting. It's part 1, isn't it? There's another part to come.
It got going. So it's a sort of it's a sci-fi, and definitely enjoyed it.
It's a sci-fi which borrows a lot of ideas and a lot of styling from other movies, I feel.
Yeah, but not solely. Not solely sci-fi movies. It's sort of it borrows from sort of general movies as well, sort of classic movies, if you like.
Yeah, it's an interesting watch and it's an exciting watch. It's probably something I wouldn't have watched, but if I hadn't been sitting there with you, making the choices. So yeah, that was good. We also watched 2 programmes, The 80s Supermarket.
Oh.
Which is a journey back in time to the 80s and the foods that were on sale in the 80s supermarket. It also taps into the feeling of that time.
How society was in that time.
Yeah.
And it has the fabulous Rusty Lee, who I just adore. Adore her laugh. I mean, how can you not adore Rusty Lee's laugh?
It also has a scientist who recreates certain things, and sometimes he's interesting, sometimes he's like, really, can we skip this bit? But he sort of whipped up some margarine, didn't he, and showed how margarine was made.
And also Milky Way.
And the innards of a Milky Way, which was quite interesting. But it's always interesting to have a nostalgia trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to an era that you fully remember.
Yeah. In fact, we did watch it. I think we watched it after we recorded Sunday Chat last week, and we were talking about it with Vivi a bit, because there has been 2 episodes of this so far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's interesting because we do fully remember that era and all the new things that came out and all the, different dishes that were served, the instant meals, ready meals really came to the fore, didn't they, at that time?
Yeah.
Lean cuisine, things
Lean
like
cuisine,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think I tried a couple of lean cuisines and worked out that I was satisfied if I ate 2 of them.
I think that was the thing. They were very lean cuisine.
They were very small.
And pretty tasteless, I seem to remember as well. Yeah.
I think they were quite salty, actually.
I think they were. There was quite a lot. They ramped up the salt to get the flavour going. Yeah.
So that was interesting. We've started the new season of Loot.
Yeah. That's on Apple.
Which continues to be amusing, let's say. It's not rolling around on the floor laughing.
No, it's not, and there's it's set in a slightly different home where she lives now, and whenever there's a sort of change like that, you've got to get used to the surroundings and how the surroundings are used as well.
You see, the thing that mystifies me a little bit is actually the script could have been better. For the amount of money that's been spent on that show, because it's not a cheap show.
No.
I feel they could have maybe spent a little bit longer on the script. And I know they do, and I know they work hard at it, and I know they have lots of writers, and they do rewrites, and I don't know. I just feel like there's an element missing. It doesn't have me screaming with laughter. I mean, I know those shows aren't designed to have you screaming with laughter because they're quick. The pace is quick, so you can't be screaming with laughter or you would miss the next line. So I understand they're aiming to the middle. I understand that. But there could be at least a few isolated moments where you're really tickled pink. And I'm not getting that, you know?
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. Do you not have anything to say on that?
No, I'm quite enjoying it. I think the main characters are great, and I'm enjoying the characters.
I didn't say it wasn't enjoyable.
No, I know you didn't.
I just felt they could have worked a little bit harder.
I know, but you'd also finished saying what you were going to say, and you'd asked me what I was going to say, and I said what I was going to say, and then you decided to say more about what you were going to say.
Does that mean you've finished?
I've finished.
Good. Super.
We also watched Mandy.
Oh yeah, we started the new series of Mandy. Yes.
We've started the new series of
Mandy.
On BBC.
BBC.
The first episode of her as a stewardess was rather hilarious.
You see, yeah,
I
it's
liked
interesting,
it.
Isn't it? Because I find it a little bit silly.
Well, it is silly. That's the whole point of it. It is silly.
I know.
You know, you wouldn't... Yeah, it is silly. It's completely silly.
It's beyond silly, isn't it, sometimes?
Sometimes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Well, when she became an astronaut, that was definitely beyond silly. Yeah. But, yes, we did that.
I mean, I think the thing that's actually very clever about it is the fact that they've done it in that way. It's not trying to be a sitcom.
Yeah, no.
It is about her life and about the most ridiculous things you can imagine that somebody would do with their time. To the extreme. And it's not actually set in any kind of reality other than their world.
And the job centre.
Which is why it gets away with it.
And the nail salon.
But that's part of that world.
Absolutely,
and, you know, that's why they can be so beyond silly. And I guess it just depends on whether it tickles your funny bone. It does sometimes tickle my funny bone, but sometimes it doesn't. And I kind of guess you decide what you prefer comedy-wise, don't you, when you watch these things?
Of course.
And also you try to sort of... Well, it's about your frame of reference, because we all try to pigeonhole things and think, oh, that's a bit like this.
Yes.
But you can't say it's like anything you've seen before.
No, not really. No.
Because even things like Absolutely Fabulous, which was very silly in many ways, was set in the time and reality.
Well, we all knew those characters, and we saw those characters on TV regularly. With Mandy, it's a different thing. So, yeah. But I think that's why it's good to have her in the nail salon, because I tend to feel that grounds it. And her friend in the nail salon grounds it as well. But her friend in the first series, they go on a cruise, and that is a fabulous episode. Yeah. And we've also been watching Pie in the Sky.
And To the Manor Born.
Yeah.
There we are.
All good ones.
So that's it.
Is that it?
That's it for this week's Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
We do hope you've enjoyed it. Your time with us here on the cosy sofa. It's gone dull now.
It has, yeah. Maybe that's because the power's giving out on the lighting.
No, it's not.
No, I mean in the studio. It's gone darker.
Oh, yes, in the studio.
That did tickle me this week.
How ridiculous.
Yeah.
As if we can afford to record a show that doesn't make any money in a television studio with a script and spend 2 days rehearsing it. But please, give me a break.
But this is the thing, isn't it? Those sitcoms of like To the Man, the Ball and all of those, they were often recorded live, like The Good Life, and they would go in and do a good few days rehearsal.
Yeah.
They do the script reading at the beginning of the week, then they'd have the rehearsal, then they'd have final script changes, then it would get to the end of the week and they'd be recording for it to be broadcast the following week or something. So yeah. I don't know how
anybody could think that we could possibly do that.
No.
Really?
There we are.
So thank you, bloody thank you. Take care, Toodle Pip. Au revoir. We'll see you again very soon.
See you soon.
Bye for now.
Bye.